Hello student, welcome back after Diwali. I hope you all are well. In this video we will see the question answer of the semester 1 paper. Let's begin with the section A. The section A, in that the 1 marks question is there. Total 16 question are there and each carry 1 marks. So the section A carries 16 marks. You have to write down each section at new page. Let's begin with the first question. Give one example of combination reaction. Here, first of all, you know about the combination reaction. It is the chapter number 1 question, chemical reaction chapter. So, the combination reaction means the two element is combined and form a one substance is called the combination reaction. A reaction in which two or more than two elements react with each other and form a single substance. Then it is called the combination reaction. Now here in the first question, the question is that give one example of combination reaction. So here we have to write down one example of combination reaction. So according to definition, you can write down the combination reaction example. There is lots of example which is given in first chapter, which is of combination reaction. I give one example. Suppose carbon and oxygen, they both are react with each other and it is form a CO2, that means carbon dioxide. Students, one thing that we have to keep it in mind, whenever the example is asked, in that condition you have to write down a wording form as well, and you also have to write down the equation. For example, here I give the example of carbon dioxide, formation of carbon dioxide. So first of all, I have to write down the wording form of chemical reaction. That means a carbon is react with the oxygen and it is form a carbon dioxide. Here the carbon and the oxygen is a two element which is combined with each other and form carbon dioxide. Then after you can write down that C plus O2, it gives CO2. So like that you have to write down in the exam. Let's discuss the other example of combination reaction. As I give one example, that carbon is react with the oxygen gas, it's form carbon dioxide. That means carbon means the coal, or you can also write down carbon which is react with oxygen and it's form the carbon dioxide. The second example, the formation of water. Here you can see the H2 means the hydrogen which is react with the oxygen to form a water. That means H2O. Whenever the equation and example is asked, you have to balance the equation as well. So here H2, that is 2 hydrogen, oxygen is 1, but here oxygen is 2. So for the balancing of the oxygen, we have to write down over here 2. So while writing 2 over here, the hydrogen is become a 4. 2 2s are 4. So also we have to write down 2 in front of hydrogen. So the 2H2 plus O2, it gives H2O. And this is reaction of a formation of water. The other example of combination reaction, It's Fe plus S. Fe, that means iron, and it is react with the sulfur. Then it is give iron sulfide, FeS. Here you can see the triangle symbol is given. That means for this example, for this reaction, we have to keep the heat. Then and then this Fe plus S means the iron and sulfide react with each other and form iron sulfide. The other example of combination reaction, it's a formation of gas, formation of hydrochloric acid. In that the hydrogen and chlorine gas which is react with each other in the presence of light, then it is give the HCl, that means hydrogen chloride, and also you can say hydrochloric acid. The next one, that Mg plus O2 means the magnesium which is react with the oxygen and it is formed the MgO, that means magnesium oxide. Most of the students of the 10th standard write down this example in the exam, but one thing is missing in the paper. It's about state of the element and balance. So keep it in mind whenever if asked this kind of question in final exam, then you have to balance the equation as well as you have to mention the state of the elements. For example, Mg, which is in a solid state, means the magnesium it is found in a solid state, then you have to write down as. Then the oxygen which is find out in a gaseous state, so you have to write down oxygen. O2 means gas. So it gives 2MgO, means magnesium oxide. The next example of combination reaction, it's a formation of the salt. In that the sodium is react with the chlorine. Sodium it is in a solid state and the chlorine it is a gaseous state. They both are react with each other and form NaCl. For balancing this equation, we have to write down 2 in front of the Na here also. So the Na plus Cl2 it gives 2 NaCl. So this is the all the example of the combination reaction. You can write down any of the equation. If asked that combination, write down the example of the combination reaction, then you can write down any of the one equation from it. Now let's see the question number 2. Which one of the following process involve a chemical reaction? Here the options are given. A, that is storing of oxygen gas under pressure in a gas cylinder. Second option, liquefaction of air. The C, keeping petrol in a china dish in the open. And the D option, heating a copper wire in the presence of air at high temperature. So first of all, you know about what is the chemical reaction. It is also a first chapter question. In ninth standard and the previous standard as well, we studied the difference between the physical reaction and the chemical reaction. As we know that in physical reaction, there is no any kind of new substance is formed. Then it is considered as a physical change, or you can say the physical reaction. But in chemical reaction, there is changes occur, there is new substance is formed, and there is also various kind of like thing happen like a heating effect, color change of the substance, new substance formed, heat evolved, yeah, heat absorbed. So this kind of change we consider as a chemical reaction if any new substance is formed. So according to that base, we have to write down the answer. We have to find out the which one of the following process involve a chemical reaction. The first one, that the storing of oxygen gas under pressure in a gas cylinder. Here the pressure is applied on oxygen gas to store oxygen in a gas cylinder. Here there is no new substances formed. So this A option, that is of a physical change, or you can say the physical reaction. The second option, that the liquefaction of air, that is also comes under to a physical change, or you can say the physical reaction. The third one, that is keeping a petrol in a china dish in the oven. As we know that the petrol have a low boiling point, so the evaporation is occur, and it is also comes under to the physical change. The fourth option, that heating a copper wire in the presence of air at high temperature. So the answer is D, because if you are heating the copper in the presence of air, then the copper oxide is formed. Here the copper is a different substance, and after the reaction the copper sulfate is formed. That is also a different substance. So if any reaction there is a new substance is formed, then we can consider it as a chemical reaction. So in the second question, the answer is D, heating a copper wire in the presence of air at high temperature. Let's move further. The question number 3. Write the balanced chemical equation for the following reaction. Write the balanced chemical equation for the following reaction. So here the equation is given into the word form, that we have to write down in a equation form. So the question is sodium carbonate. Here the sodium carbonate is written. So first of all we know the chemical formula of sodium carbonate. Then we can write down the formula of sodium carbonate, and then we go further. So the sodium carbonate on the reaction with hydrochloric acid. So this both the substance is react with the each other, and then it is formed the equal concentration gives sodium chloride. Then it is formed sodium chloride and sodium hydrogen carbonate. So here we have to write down the equation, not only the equation, but we have to write down the balanced chemical equation. Whenever the balanced chemical equation is asked, then we have to do the balance both the side, as well as we have to also mention the physical state of the substance. So let's see the third number answer. The balance equation for the reaction between sodium carbonate. So the formula of sodium carbonate, it is Na2CO3, sodium carbonate, which is react with hydrochloric acid, means HCl, and it is form a equal concentration, result in production of sodium chloride. Sodium chloride, that means NaCl, and sodium hydrogen carbonate, that means NaHCO3. Now let's see, we have to balance this equation. For the balancing we have to count the number of element. Here the sodium is 2. So here also Na, that is 2. Then carbonate CO3. In that carbon is 1 over here. Here also CO3, that is 1. Then the H is 1. Here also H is 1. Then the Cl1, then Cl is here, here also 1. So this equation is already balanced in condition, so no need to balance it. If asked in exam that write down the types of reaction, then this is the type of double displacement reaction, because here you can see the Na2 is displaced Na2CO3. So here the HO come over here and this Na is come over here. So H and Na both are displaced with each other to form NaCl and NaHCO3. So this kind of reaction we can say that it is a double displacement kind of reaction. So this is the answer of third number question. Fourth number question, which among the following is not a base? NaOH, KOH, NH4OH, C2H4OH. In the acid base chapter, we already know that the NaOH, KOH and the NH4OH, which is comes under to the base. But the C2H5OH, that is ethanol is there. This is the ethanol. So the answer is D. From fifth onwards question we will see in the next video. I hope you all are understand this answer and according to whatever the advice that I give, that you follow in the final exam. Thank you.